It has been a busy weekend for Deadlock. We got a brand new patch that has totally shaken up the game's meta. We got a lot more information about new heroes that are coming to the game, even including some new names that we haven't heard before. And we have even some more updates about what is coming in the December update. And I have a facial bandage. What's up, everyone? This is Connor here at Dead Unlocked, and yeah, I was playing basketball over the weekend, took a fingernail to the face, but that's the least important bit of the news here. Let's start off with, first of all, getting into the new information about the new heroes that are coming to the game, including some amazing new artwork and some new names we haven't heard previous. All right, so we're going to start here with a post from Minesweeper that really lays out kind of where we're at with heroes so far. I'll go through this quickly, and then we'll kind of break down all of the images and everything we know so far about each one of these 6 heroes, because this is pretty interesting. So there are currently 6 new heroes in the character selection screen on the private testing branch, according to Minesweeper. Rem, which we've previously known as Familiar, Fencer, Graves, which we've previously known as Necromancer, Venator, Silver, which we've kind of known previously as Shapeshifter or Werewolf, and Pepper, who is a unicorn girl no one has talked about yet. And Minesweeper says, with the amount of progress in 2 weeks, who knows? I would echo this sentiment. It feels like the test branch is getting a ton of attention. A lot of progress is being made. But let's start with Rem and kind of go through hero by hero what we know and kind of some updated images about everything on this list. So with Rem, we're familiar. Really, the only new thing here is the name. We get a cool new name, and I think this is a really great name for this character. I've loved kind of the naming convention Deadlock has been going for so far. A lot of puns. You know, you have Billy Goat, Rem for a sleepy little guy here, so I kind of like it. And this is an adorable little rendition of Rem. For those that don't know, there's a little, I mean, controversy is a bad thing to call it, but there was a kind of hiccup in the leaking community where some leakers were using AI to trace over images to protect sources, so you're not showing screenshots. Some backlash, I think, appropriately for that. You know, I think it's a fair critique from the Deadlock community to not want AI in the space, even though I don't think Minesweeper and Hezi had any ill intent with that. It was just kind of a way to protect the source. But now we are getting artist renditions of some of these heroes, which look really, really cool, really slick. So Rem looks adorable. He's we don't know anything about abilities just yet. Minesweeper hinted that we might be getting some more information on that pretty soon. But all we know so far is there's a button you can press and you can teleport to someone's head. So this, I think I said in a post on X, this guy is going to be one that I hate, but I'm also going to love, and I think this is going to be one of the most popular heroes in Deadlock right away. Not only from just like a player standpoint, but just like from a fan and like a fan art consumer standpoint. This is going to be a really cool, adorable hero in Deadlock. The next 2 heroes on the list, we really don't have a lot of new information about, especially Fencer. There's really nothing new to talk about with Fencer right now, so I'll hold off. Graves is a new name, though, that we haven't seen for Necromancer. And again, a very punny name here. You know, a grave in the ground with a Necromancer makes a lot of sense for a name. It's kind of hilarious that they keep doing this. But yeah, Graves, name for Necromancer. No new art, nothing new there, so I'm going to quickly move past that. Venator, though, we did get some really cool commissioned art. Looking at Venator, both from an artist that Hezi commissioned and I believe an artist that Sleep commissioned. So we have a lot of kind of a plethora of images we can look at here. And Venator looks really sick. I mean, we've got a crossbow, we've got a stola. I mean, this looks like your classic priest, vampire hunter, whatever you want to call them. Really, really cool looking models. So Venator looks, I think Venator has been very far along for a while. And it just, again, looks more and more like we could be getting Venator in this form in the game very soon. And again, just looks like a really, really sick character. This, I've heard people say that this is John Deadlock, and I feel like that's probably a pretty fair assessment. But this character, even though it might be a basic M1 character that with a kind of a standard kit you would understand, this should still be a really fun character to play, so very excited to get Venator in the game. All right, and these last 2 we really don't know near as much about. So we've got Silver, which is the name for Shapeshifter, which has also been called Werewolf in the past. I think Sleep Post has been kind of cryptic about this on X a little while ago, but basically this is a hero that at least so far has an ultimate where you transform into kind of like a werewolf kind of creature, right? So expect that from Silver. Otherwise, we really don't know much else about this hero. I don't even think we have a model for that one, so that's one of those extra grain of salts, subject to change kind of things. And I think the same should be said for this next one, even though this is kind of a crazy, interesting, exciting one. But this is Pepper, who's a unicorn girl that Minesweeper describes that no one has talked about yet. And this is a really, really interesting one. I know very little about this, just what kind of sources have told me in the leak community, but expect like pink and blue kind of bubblegum colors. She has a unicorn horn, she has batons, but again, this is a heavily grain of salt thing. I have not seen this in game. I have nothing to post about this. So again, this one feels a little bit thin, but I think from what I'm hearing from Minesweeper, stay tuned in the next few days because we could get a lot more information. I mean, even leading up to Thanksgiving and the week after about what should be coming from these new heroes in the next update. And speaking about the new update, let's get into some specifics about what we have heard so far and what has been confirmed about the December update coming to Deadlock. Yeah, getting into the potential December update, I feel a little bit stronger about calling it a December update now, because Yoshi has said, in quotes in the Deadlock Discord, yeah, we are still aiming to get that update out sometime in December. So this was kind of a follow-up question. I think a lot of people in the community had thought that because of the kind of content of the update, pair that with Valve time, that we might not get this until January. And then there was even some kind of like questions about what could even be coming in it then. But it really seems like in just the past few days, maybe the past week, sentiments about this next update have really changed within the test server and within insiders I talked to, that it feels like it is going to come in December and there's going to be a lot in this update. And one thing that seems like has been confirmed to be in the update, at least based on game files, is Street Brawl. So this is something that was leaked a long time ago. This is that ARAM mode that we have talked about extensively on the channel. It does seem like, I don't have proof, I can't absolutely confirm it, but we do have some convincing stuff showing it in the game files that we will be getting Street Brawl in probably the December update. There's still a grain of salt there. I can't confirm anything just yet, but if I had to go out and on a limb and kind of say what you should expect based on what I've seen and what I've been hearing about the December update, there's really 3 things we should be paying attention to. Number 1 is Street Brawl. So because of the game files, because of how long this has been worked on, I feel pretty confident that this will be coming sooner rather than later. New heroes is another one. I feel like this is one, originally speaking, I had thought was coming in this update, then I kind of like pumped the brakes and was like, we might be getting these later. That's a lot to ask for, like 6 to 8 new heroes is a ton. But I genuinely think that these could really be coming in December. So devs super cooking. And then the last one is people are calling it like a map 3.0. I don't know if I'd quite call it that. I think it might be fair to, but essentially think of this as a sweeping change across the map. This is actually something that we, I think, initially reported on here exclusively, and expect this to have a lot of new remodeled interiors, some exterior work as well, a lot of lighting work. We obviously have covered on the channel the big overhaul to the bases, new walkers coming in with the bull mechanics. I've talked about new troopers on the channel. Honestly, just about every facet of the map I have seen changes to. The only things I haven't seen are models of like new jungle creeps. So what the jungle troopers will look like, what mid boss would look like if it were to change. So haven't seen anything there yet. That could still be in progress. But overall, I would expect Street Brawl, some kind of amount of new heroes. I think the 4 to 8 range is maybe good, and then a heavy change to a lot of the map, making this December update really a massive one for Deadlock. All right, before I get into talking about the patch, because I have a lot of thoughts on the patch, I really do love it. There is kind of some rumors circulating right now about a Warden remodel that might be coming in, or at least a reskin. I say remodel, it wouldn't be an ability change necessarily that I've heard, just a pure aesthetic change. According to Deadlock Project 8, who we've talked about a little bit on the channel here, one Warden looks more like a magic executioner and the other more like a hunter. Now, again, both of these are pure concepts. We haven't seen any of this in game. I think I even saw Hezi respond to this saying that we have not seen this on the test server yet. So this seems like very early in the idea phase for Valve, which makes sense. I think there are other heroes that there's probably a more pressing need for remodels for, like Yamato, right? Like this is one that definitely makes sense. But I think there are going to be, people should expect at least some polishing and some more details being put into several heroes in Deadlock, especially if you can think of one that has been the same since it kind of entered into the game, more or less. Those are ones that I would in particular really expect. I would expect a remodel on those in the next 6 months to a year, just as everything tries to get fully detailed, fully polished for the game's eventual open beta or full release or whatever's coming next. All right, now I want to close the video talking about what I actually believe to be Deadlock's most important balancing patch to date. And I genuinely don't say that lightly, because this really feels like we're heading into December, where there's going to be a ton of things added to the game, new map. And so I think this was kind of the last mechanics overhaul that we're going to get before that, where Deadlock devs really want to take a big sweep, a big stock of like, let's try something totally fresh, or maybe they've been really wanting to get to this point eventually, and let's move forward with it. And I think the biggest impact of this patch was the laning phase. Laning feels so much more strategic and interactive now. And I think that is it's clear that was such an impetus from developers, and it's really an appreciated one. I mean, it feels so cool now to be able to like bait the healing trooper in, to be able to use it to stack heals, It forces you to have a frontliner and a backliner. No longer can you just play Vindicta in the air and just be getting souls, in perpetuity. There's a lot of really cool things in this patch, and also developers have been really keen on like hotfixing the patch right away. So it felt like immediately gun was overpowered. That was hotfixed. Now, or at least yesterday, it felt like Deathball was getting to be really out of hand, and immediately there was another hotfix about that, basically punishing you for stacking players together, nerfing Trophy Collector, and nerfing Focus Lens. So a lot of really just, again, this feels like it is Deadlock in so many different ways, kind of entering into like a final form or like a proper polished form. And this is really something I feel very positively about. So not only are you now de-incentivized from team fighting, laning is more interactive. You have more incentives to build in creative ways. So the 4.8k soul rewards, basically if you spend in any category up to 4.8k, you get a big boost. That incentivizes a lot of flex picks. It might be a little too strong, but still, I like that idea of like rewarding players who don't just go full spirit nuke, full weapon nuke, full green, and like giving you a viable way to play flex in this game, which has otherwise felt kind of lackluster in the past. This is like, again, it's another layer of intentionality and strategy with the way you approach the game, and that really feels like it's the heart of this patch, is like take away the kind of autopilot gameplay that we had at least semi been in prior. Like you could autopilot through lane, you get into the mid game, you kind of do the same stuff, you mid boss and win. It feels like the game has become a lot more dynamic in this patch, and I, for one, I've only played a handful of games on it, but I have really been enjoying this patch so far. I'd be curious to hear what you all think in the comments, but I'll quit yapping. Basically, where we're at right now, December patch still looks like it's on the table. We're going to probably be getting more and more information about the heroes leaking over the coming weeks. Sorry, I just hit my mic. And hopefully my face heals as well. So anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments about the patch, new heroes, everything in between. And from our house to yours, we'll see you all next time here at Dead Unlocked.